Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the class. I have a few questions. My first question is, how do we understand when Lord Shiva aggressively fights with Lord Krishna at the same time when he's Param Vaishnava?
Lord Shiva himself admitted that, Krishna, why did you give me this Ishwar Bhav, that I am the controller? So much so that I even forget you. Like in Krishna's pastimes, this kind of things happen simply to establish Krishna's position. It's a pastime. Brahma is bewildered. Indra is bewildered. And in this way, Krishna is establishing through his pastimes, or Jogomaya is establishing through these pastimes, how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Those who think Lord Shiva is the greatest, through these pastimes it becomes clear that Krishna is even greater than Lord Shiva.
Thank you, Maharaj. The other question has to do with Satyabhama Devi. Yesterday you mentioned that Satyabhama is an expansion of Radharani. So if there are Ashtasakhis in Vrindavan, Ashtabharya in Dwarka, how can Radharani be included in one of those Ashtabharya, because Radharani is not one of the Ashtasakhis? So if you're drawing parallels, Radharani is outside Ashtasakhi. So how is Satyabhama included in that Ashtabharya?
Well, it is not the Ashtasakhis as such. It is Radharani coming in that, in Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka, as Krishna expands, she is expanding, and that is her. It's not that only the Ashtasakhis came as the queen. So it is Radharani plus, like say for example, you see Ashtasakhis are Radharani's camp. Radharani's first circles. Radharani's most intimate. Like in Dwarka, these 8 queens are not just Ashtasakhis, right? These are 8 principal gopis from Vrindavan. Like for example, Chandravali is not among the Ashtasakhis. Now Chandravali is Rukmini. Radharani, the Ashtasakhis are around Radharani, but here Radharani herself is one of the principal queens.
Okay. And what's the connection between Radharani and Bhudevi? Because Satyabhama is an expansion of Bhudevi?
No, Satyabhama is an expansion of Radharani, and Bhudevi is an expansion of Satyabhama.
Okay, thank you.
It's not, it's the...
Sorry. And last question was, we usually refer to the queens being 16,100. So if there are 16,000...
Yeah, so although it has been pointed out that 16,000 princesses, but it was actually 16,100 princesses.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Neela, yeah, okay. Neela is the Dham. The Dham of the Lord is the expansion of his Neela Shakti. You had a question? Then why don't you raise your hand? Okay, after that.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Like Samba, we also read that he was trying to make fun of the rishis, and they cursed that, kind of dressed like a pregnant woman, and so asked whether it will be a boy or a girl, and they cursed and so on. So I was a little bit trying to get in terms with this particular pastime of Samba kidnapping Lakshmana by force without her will, and also Pradyumna, Aniruddha actually going to Usha. So is that, appropriate? Like, how are we supposed to see that? Was it, because we also know that they are not eternal associates, like Pradyumna was Kamdev. And so do we see it as transcendental, or do we see it as something inappropriate?
He says, as I have been repeatedly reminding you all, these are Krishna's pastimes. These are pastimes. The purpose of pastimes is like a drama. What is the purpose of a drama? A purpose of a good drama is entertainment and education. Don't you learn something from a good drama or a good play? Similarly, Krishna's pastimes also has these two aspects. Entertainment. Don't you get delighted hearing those activities? Right? And at the same time, you are getting the education also. That don't do this, do that. And the ultimate consideration is always side with Krishna and never go against him. Did you get this message? And anyway, so that is the understanding.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for this beautiful class. I just have one question. What is the difference between Krishna's gopis, sakhis and manjaris?
Gopis means cowherd girls, cowherd women. So gopis can be anyone, any female in Vrindavan is a gopi. The sakhis are the young girls who are assisting or friends of Srimati Radharani or Krishna's girlfriends, let's say. Krishna's girlfriends are the sakhis. And the younger girls who assist the sakhis, they are the manjaris. Like say for example Gopi, Mother Jashoda is a gopi. Jashoda Gopi. Right? So it's not that only the young girls are gopis, the elderly women are also gopis. Nakhalu gopika nandano bhavan. You are not the son of the gopi. Which gopi? Mother Jashoda. So, whereas sakhis are like friends. Sakhi means friends. Like the
Same age group we can say.
Radharani and of that group, of that age. And even younger girls who are serving, assisting Krishna and the other sakhis, they are manjaris.
So manjaris are more intimate, right?
Manjaris are more intimate in the sense the manjaris are rendering service that elder girls won't go in there.
Okay.
In most intimate dealings between Krishna with Radharani, manjaris stay there. But sakhis, they quit the room.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Can you please explain how Narakasura became a demon, like he's Krishna's son?
Well, it's sometimes, you see, although how he became a demon, you mean what instance made him a demon? I have to check it. I haven't really come across that description. Let me see if I can find it. But the point I was about to say is that the Lord's offsprings also can sometimes become demons. Because Here, he didn't get the direct contact with the Lord and recognize the Lord. He kind of, because there was no association. Yes.
So my question is a little kind of broader. I'm just trying to take all of this in, and so many people here know a lot of the stories and the names, and my question can't even get that deep because I'm just now learning a lot of this. But I'm curious from, as I'm reading and studying and taking this all in as a newer devotee, what is the highest priority in terms of, there's only so much time for certain things in a day. What should I really, what's the priority for someone that's kind of new or coming in to study and learn about the pastimes and all of the leelas and the, so much to take in?
Stay in the loop. It'll happen, Like you came to the right place, it's only a matter of time. Stay tuned in, it'll happen.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It's amazing, like how some of our God brothers, although they are born, God brothers and God sisters, although they are born in the Western American society, had no contact with the Vedic culture, the way they have became exponents of that culture. It's really amazing. So that shows that it's only a matter of time, matter of time and involvement.
Thank you.
And not only my God brothers and God sisters, all the devotees I'm talking about from the West, they are born in the West, had no contact with the Vedic culture, but they have adopted the Vedic culture and become an exponent of that culture in such a wonderful way. It'll happen to you also, don't worry. Just stay in ISKCON and don't leave ISKCON. All right?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. What Rukma found in good quality in Shishupal that he wanted his sister to get married? What was the good quality he found?
What's that?
Rukma, the brother of Rukmani, what he found good thing in Shishupal that he wanted sister to get married to Shishupal. So what the good thing he found in Shishupal?
His greatest qualification was that he was a demon. His greatest qualification was that he hated Krishna. And besides that, actually, he did mention, look at his birth. Such an illustrious Kshatriya family. From his childhood, he was so heroic, so powerful. These are the qualities. That they can find good qualities in them. Like from the material calculation, you can find the demons also have some great lineage and great achievements. On the other hand, he was saying that Krishna, see, he didn't even get a proper Kshatriya upbringing. He was spending his time in the cowherd boy in Vrindavan tending cows. What kind of a Kshatriya he is? Tending cows? Where he should have been learning how to fight the battle and things. Yes, Nilamani Prabhu.
Maharaj. Maharaj, can you give a little bit more insight into the identity of Yogamaya? Maya we understand as an energy of Krishna. Is Yogamaya a personality, a jiva? So,
See, Yogamaya Yogamaya is Krishna's internal potency that arranges for Krishna's activities, Krishna's Leela. Like Krishna wants something and Yogamaya makes the arrangement. Right? Say for example, Krishna wants to dance, rasa dance, Yogamaya immediately makes the arrangement. Full moon, Sarad night. The sky, the full moon appears in the sky, and the whole atmosphere becomes just conducive or suitable to that occasion. And then the whole thing starts to happen. Yogamaya also arranges who will take part in which pastimes. So if you look at it in this way, that Krishna's pastimes are like a drama or a movie, then Yogamaya is the director. Right? Yogamaya is the casting director also. She selects who will play which role. Right? So that is Yogamaya's business. Yogamaya's personality, she is eight-armed Durga in Vaikuntha. In Dwarka she is Subhadra. And in Vrindavan she is Purnamasi. And these are the identity. The Yogamaya's expansion in the material nature is Mahamaya. Who is making all the material arrangements. There Yogamaya makes the spiritual arrangements, and here she is making all the material arrangements in order to punish and rectify the defective souls. Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Maharaj, we hear that Krishna went to the forest to find the jewel. Does it also teaches us that we should also go to that extent if to clear our name or to prove our innocence when we have been accused of something which we have not done in the first place?
It will depend how Krishna conscious you are. Like one who is completely Krishna conscious, he'll say, let it be. Because ultimately, it is in order to uphold a false ego. But like if you feel like you can do that, but generally a devotee wouldn't care for that. But here we have to see Krishna is playing the role of a Kshatriya. So for a Kshatriya, his reputation is very important. Therefore, he is setting an example. But for a devotee, in a true sense, his thing will be, well, let it be. Like that's why we find that the devotees, when they're, say for example, the Pandavas, they did not struggle to establish their innocence. They just accepted it. Whereas Krishna himself acted in a different way. Okay? Thank you. Yes?
Hare Krishna very much. So during the stories you were actually talking of the Vedic culture and the purity of the Vedic culture, and I was thinking on the point that like now we see that how Kali Yuga is going so much on the opposite direction to the pure Vedic culture. And many times when we hear such stories, even some of the cultural aspects seem like so way off that like sometimes even among devotees we don't feel like, is that really true? Like we don't even feel comfortable like... Well, sometimes it's like you were mentioning about like the purity of women. Like, I'm not saying that as a real example, but sometimes we read sometimes even in Bhagavatam, some of the purports, like Prabhupada mentions some things which are, it's like hard to even understand that.
Like what did Prabhupada mention that's difficult to understand?
Well, I don't have an exact example right now, Guru Maharaj.
Then how can you expect me to give an exact answer? Anyway, so the thing is that, I'm serious, like unless I know what you are talking about, it's actually difficult for me to answer. But general understanding is the Vedic culture is the most advanced culture of this world. Because that culture takes us out of this material platform and takes us not only to the spiritual platform but shows us the ultimate spiritual goal. So that's why it's so important that we spread this Vedic culture, establish this Vedic culture all over the world.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Let's see if anybody else has any question. Kasturi Manjari, you have a question? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Guru Maharaj, what is the distinction between the roles of Paurnamasi, Vrindadevi and Srimati Radharani?
What is the?
What is the distinction, the difference between Paurnamasi,
Between who?
Paurnamasi,
Purnamas.
Vrindadevi and Srimati Radharani? What is the difference in their roles?
Well, Srimati Radharani is Krishna's Ladini potency. Vrindadevi is the keeper of the forest of Vrindavan. She's the princess who came to Vrindavan and taking care of. And Krishna's pastimes are taking care of Vrindavan, taking place in Vrindavan, and Vrindadevi is making all kinds of arrangements for Krishna's pastimes. And Purnamasi there is seen as an old lady who is making, ultimately she is the one who is making all the arrangements. But there in Vrindavan she is playing the role of an old lady who is always in favor of Krishna and making all kinds of arrangements for Krishna to meet with the gopis. Vrindadevi is also making the similar kind of arrangement. Okay, Vrindadevi also is acting as a duti, messenger, between Radharani and Krishna. Okay, so I'll stop in the class now. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.